California landscape artist Joy-Collier is known for her amazing paintings of giant sequoia trees, the Central Valley and desert regions, and her abstract nature work as well. And we're so excited to have her back on Big Blend Radio today. She's going to keep us up to date on her different exhibits, her new paintings, and what's going on in California sequoia country. And I encourage you to go to her website because she's got like this whole online gallery and online shop, and it's really pretty cool when you go on there.
It is.
Go to joycollier.com. But welcome back, Joy. How are you doing?
Well, I'm doing just great, Lisa. And Nancy, hi.
Hi.
The weather's beautiful here. We've had a great winter with a lot of snow finally, and
Cool.
it's just been exceptional. And
man.
in fact, it was so exceptional that they cleared the highway to the Trail of 100 Giants this winter, and I got to go up there for the first time in the winter. So,
Wow.
I know they
that's
don't
unheard of.
normally do that. In fact,
Yeah.
this is the first time they've ever done it, and amazing, huh? I mean, because
cool.
the fires had happened, and they were afraid of slides, and they were afraid that the people who lived up there couldn't get out. So, if they got blocked, so they kept them, they kept them plowed, and it was wonderful. Oh my gosh, it was so pretty.
Nice.
And are you going to do some more paintings with the sequoias in the snow, because those colors, that rust, that rusty cinnamon.
I might, but I'm not sure. They don't seem to be the most popular. I think people, maybe because people don't get to go up there in the snow very often. People like a view of something they've seen, and my big single sequoias, they're just kind of their individual personalities seem to be the most popular. Like General Sherman and Clara Barton, and just the ones that have a name.
Yeah, Clara Barton.
That's interesting,
And I like them when they do give women some names of these, because we've got the two generals, Sherman and Grant, and then we got to have some women power in there,
I know. Well, we have one that's called Chief Sequoia that I'm working on right now, and it's just a gnarly old twisty one. It's really interesting. I'm just having a lot of fun with that. I don't have a picture yet to share, but there's a lot of character, They're all different.
I know. Do you talk to them when you go? Do you talk to them
all the time? I talk to them. Even when I'm not there, I talk to them.
She talks to the trees.
I know. I'm gonna. Now, Joy, I also saw that you're getting into a collection of sycamore paintings too. Is that more in the foothills area?
That was a challenge. I mean, I had never done that before. Okay, what happened was I had a lady who had bought one of my sequoias, it's a horizontal one with fern leaves, and it's like you're walking through the ferns, and there's no skyline, and she really liked that. So I sold her the picture. She has big wall space. Great big wall space. And she was very particular, and she didn't want anything with a horizon line. She wanted to have that more abstract feeling to it. And so I went to her house, and she had the inspiration for the sycamore, which is kind of a fun story, is she has a view of this huge marshy and dry areas with these giant sycamores. And it was the middle of winter, so they were totally naked. They didn't have any color. And she had a Navajo Indian rug hanging on the railing next to where she wanted the painting. And she says, this Navajo rug is the color scheme I want. Now, I'm not really usually geared towards interior design exactly, but I used the rug as the inspiration. She says, I'd like you to paint me something. And she didn't know I was going to paint her sycamore tree. So what I did is I took a lot of photos while I was at her house, and with a nice naked tree, so I could really see the structure of the trees and the rug. And I made the whole color theme the rug, because in the fall when the sycamores get that burnt orange and rust colors, I just ran around the area and got a lot of leaves, pictures of leaves, and put them in the tree the way they would be hanging, forward or back or up or down or wherever they were. And I made a triptych out of it because I'm kind of at the place now when these 4 by 6 foot paintings I've been doing are just so hard for me to move around. So I thought, well, I'll make a triptych, which is kind of popular anyway. So I'll make 3 paintings to make one giant painting, right? Mm-hmm. And if you go to my Facebook, Joy-Collier Art, you'll see it. I put it up as the header on the page. And it just came out. It was so much fun. It took me quite a while. In fact, actually, it took me a year. Well, it took me a year to get it organized, but about 3 months of painting time. I don't know why people ask me how long it takes, but I can't. It's hard to tell you how long it takes to do a painting because sometimes they go really fast and sometimes they just don't. And, of course, I don't paint solid 3 months. When I say 3 months, I fuss around a lot. I mean, I have it sitting there, and I have other things sitting there, and I work on different things at different times, but anyway, it came out beautiful, and she was very happy. So that was a lot of fun. So I've done a few other trees. But go ahead.
I was going to say, do people ever ask you like how many hairs in a paintbrush, like? when I used to paint in public, and that was one of the top questions, and they'd like, okay, how many hairs are in that brush? And I was just like dumbfounded by that question because it never occurred to me to count the hairs in a a paintbrush. I mean, but that was a big question.
I think people just don't know what to ask about art, and I mean, I just. I don't know. Yes, that's a very odd question.
It's funny. But that was in South Africa.
Yeah, but I think it is. I think people, that's what's really neat about going and doing shows. I know you have one coming up, Joy-Collier Central Valley Landscapes. It's going to be in Fresno at the Vernissage Fresno's Art Rendezvous, a fine art gallery. And they really focus on California artists and sculptors and ceramists, all established artists, emerging and established artists, but very much a California theme. And I know you're going to be there from June 6th through to the 28th. But you start off with their art hop. So that's the first Thursday of the month. So the art hop is part of the downtown Fresno, so people go from one gallery to the next?
Yes, and there's lots and lots of places to visit. It's just a lot of fun. And and this gallery is rather new. It's almost a year old. And Ma Lee, he took over the gallery. He just took over another gallery and renamed it. And honestly, it's the most beautiful gallery in Fresno. It's just lovely. He's done a wonderful job. He teaches and he has local artists of different genres all the time. Every month gets a different artist. And
you're the one for June.
He had called me and he said, I have a couple of months open. Do you want to do one? And I said, absolutely. Because it's hard to show because I have large things. And so to put my stuff in an ordinary consignment gallery or something like that, you know what? They just don't have room for me, and to really showcase my stuff. And but I don't know if you guys went up to Trail of 100 Giants on Highway 190 or not.
Oh yeah. We went to the Trail of Giants. That was actually the very first thing we did when we first came to the Sequoia region, and we went up with the Forest Service. And they took us on the Trail of Giants, and it was right after that the two sequoias had fallen down, and I actually got to walk on the sequoia.
I did a painting of that. I did a painting of that one. And anyway, there's a restaurant up there. If you go up 190, I know there's a couple ways to get up there. There's a restaurant some people down in LA bought, which is called Pier Point. And if you go to my Facebook site, I put the posting at the top so you could see my pictures in the Pier Point. I had I made custom-made prints to fit in the dining room, and they have the three largest, and then two of the more narrow trees in between, and it just takes over the entire place, and it feels like a forest. And one of the paintings is that one, that the fallen, I call them the twin fallen giants. Yeah.
Oh,
so
wow.
it's a good way to see kind of the impact, how it could look, and why I don't fit in a regular gallery.
I know. Well, it's cool that you're going. It's cool that you're going to Fresno because I know it's a gateway community to the sequoias, and I mean, gee, you have the Giant Sequoia National Forest, the Sequoia National Forest, and then Giant Sequoia National Monument. You've got Sequoia and Kings Canyon National Parks. I mean, you've got such a beautiful backyard.
Yosemite.
And all. And Yosemite's not far from you either. But Fresno, at this gallery, so people can, it kicks off with the art hop on June 6th, but then you're going to be doing an artist talk on the 22nd. Do you like doing artist talks?
I love it. It's a lot of fun.
Cool.
Yeah. I mean, I'm informal. I don't have a tight agenda or anything, but if anybody loves the sequoias and they love the local landscapes, it's a lot of fun to talk about it. Because when I first started painting sequoias, I thought I had this idea that I would go to every grove. Well, now I realize it's sort of impossible. Some of them are very, very remote, and and a few times I've gotten in places where I thought, Joy, you shouldn't be out here by yourself. If you fall down and break your ankle or something, you're never going to get home, because I went up to see the stag tree. I don't know if you know about that one. It's, I think, about the sixth largest, but you have to climb down this really steep, just a narrow little path down to the bottom of this ravine just to see it. And, oh, my gosh, I thought, you're never going to get out of here. I mean, I am 71 years old, And
oh, dear.
Cow.
Would you consider painting, like, cypress trees? Because they got that, like, bendy, gnarly trunks,
I love it. I like all kinds of trees. They're fun.
And nature.
Cool.
I like your Death Valley work too.
Now, Death Valley I did quite a long time ago. See, I painted. I worked for the city of Bakersfield for 15 years, and during that period, I got a tent trailer. My son was young, and we would go out to Death Valley for 3-day weekends. My boss was really forgiving. He allowed me to work 4 10-hour days instead of working the regular 5 days a week. And that gave me 3-day weekends. And I would go to Red Rock Canyon or Death Valley, which I absolutely love. And in those days, I painted in oils. I don't do that anymore. But I won a big award on that one, on Turk's Turban. Well, that was Red Rock Canyon. I won a major award on that one from like 5 museums. They chose me as one of the leading landscape artists in California. Pretty cool, huh?
Wow. Yeah, that is pretty cool. I love that.
Would you paint like a mural, like inside a building, kind of thing?
Sure.
Would you, because you paint big, like you want to go big. So you could paint a whole wall in a restaurant or something. That'd be cool.
If they're willing to pay me.
Well, of course, you got to get paid.
Artists need to be paid.
Everybody needs to get paid.
Mm-hmm.
It's amazing how people think you can just do it, and they want it for nothing, which is just a little disappointing, right? But
well, look at it this way: when artificial intelligence takes over everybody else's jobs, it's the creative ones that are going to be left.
Yes. And it's the creative ones actually helping create the artificial intelligence.
They're like creating it so that they don't lose their own jobs.
Exactly. So I know right now, spring, I remember the sequoias, like June being just absolutely beautiful because all the wildflowers are starting to, depending on where you are, in regards to the wildflowers. I know the foothills and Three Rivers gets really beautiful in early spring, but up at the top, like, in the meadows, just all the different lilies and the waterfalls. And apparently this year the waterfalls are just going to be like the biggest deal in the parks.
Oh, I'm sure it is. I actually have not been up yet. I've been thinking about I really wanted to get up to see Round Meadow because the bears are out. You know,
Oh, cool.
they're always out in the meadows in the spring. And did you know California bears don't hibernate because it doesn't get cold enough long enough. So they really are around in the winter, but I didn't even know that until just recently. But now's probably the time they're really out trying to, forage a lot. Yeah, that's it. Eat. But there's still some snow on the ground, I'm sure. And
wow.
Because
that
we had
seems
quite a
so
bit
weird
of snow
to us.
this year. I know it does, doesn't it? Well,
Yeah.
I was up just, I don't know, not even a month ago, and to the Trail of 100 Giants, and there was about 3 foot of snow on the ground. And the guy I was with, he was one of the snowplow drivers, and he said, "Oh my gosh, this will last through until July or something. I mean, still be some snow."
Wow.
So it's a different kind of a year. Yeah.
But that's really good because California needed it after the
Yeah.
drought, and
It
really helps.
It's been
you know.
terrible. It's been yeah, it's been really bad. I mean, really bad. Of course, it's always scary. I mean, in the last 2 years, I tried really hard to get up to the Nelder Grove, which is just below Yosemite, because I had research material from Yosemite, but I didn't have anything from the Nelder Grove, and it's supposed to be quite extraordinary. And each time I tried, 2 years in a row, I went up once to Yosemite. I was coming down. I was going to spend the night at the Nelder Grove, and the fire started, and they wouldn't let anyone in. And last year I went up, and the fire started again in that area. So it's been kind of hard.
Yeah.
With,
I hope I think it's that drought. That's what happens, and all the fires start because, especially the beetles and everything. But hopefully this year it'll be a change and give everybody a breather. And
I don't think
hopefully
it will.
for Yosemite.
I hate to say it, but I don't think it will.
Yosemite's gone through hell, literally, over the last, I would say, 5-7 years. But please still go and enjoy it. And there's also so many different parts of the parks. Sometimes certain areas just get trampled to death. And hopefully, I always think go off season if you can. It'll be quieter time, but Yosemite is really one of those really super busy parks, as is the Sequoia and Kings Canyon. But
you
can go there year round.
Yosemite. They just reopened Yosemite. It was closed for 2 years, and that was because they took out all the roads and all the trails that were damaging the roots to the trees. So now they shuttle
you're talking about
people
the Mariposa Grove. The Mariposa Grove.
Yeah, the Mariposa Grove. And
the park's been open, but yeah.
You can't do what you used to do. And Round Meadow, oh my gosh, in Sequoia, you wouldn't have known it, but once upon a time there were like 100 buildings surrounding that meadow, and they had trampled the heck out of it. And now it's just beautiful. I mean, they made a path in a huge circle all the way around, and they put some redwood benches so you could sit and look, and people don't get to walk in the meadow anymore. And it's all recovered beautifully. It just looks amazing.
Round Meadow is where Big Trees Trail is, right? That's the same place.
Yeah,
that I'm
Big
thinking
Trees
of.
Trail. Round Meadow is part of Big Trees Trail.
I love that meadow, and I love Crescent Meadow. I could live in Crescent Meadow. I love that place so much. I love it.
I know.
We could live in Tharp's his tree log.
Tharp's log. Yeah. Sure, why not?
I think I say that on every single Sequoia show. It's like, I want to go stay in that cabin just for one night, Could you imagine how cool that would be? Raccoons will be poking in going, hey, what are you doing? I love it. I love it. So this is exciting about Fresno. I'm so glad you're going off the hill, Joy. You're going down to the valley.
I've got to get out. I can't
get out
stay here. Nobody sees anything.
Well, I love what you've done with your website. Again, everyone, joycollier.com. Please go have a look. It's really awesome because you can, look at what your wall space is and your decor. So it's like this amazing way of being able to put art. Definitely the places you've been, the Sequoias. If you have a love for that area, as anybody who goes there, it's one of those jaw-dropping experiences, and you want to keep that with you at home at all times. And art's the way to do it.
It is a good way.
I want to tell you just one thing special about my website. There's a little button. Okay, if you go to a picture you like, and there's a little button that says AR, which I don't know what it means, but anyway, at the bottom, if you have a smartphone or a tablet, you can literally project that picture on your wall. And so you can experiment with getting the picture, try it out in a space that you got, that if you'd like to get a print or an original. It'll give you an idea.
It's super cool. It's so cool because you've got your smartphone, and so you're in there, and it like merges. Talk about artificial intelligence, man. This stuff is so cool.
Yeah, it's one of those things. It's on the verge, isn't it?
Hey, but that's the thing, buying art online never used to happen, and I never thought it would really happen, but it does happen, and people do.
It does.
And being able to have these tools, it's like I prefer shopping for clothes from a computer because I hate going into stores and having to undress in a little changing room, and I'm wondering, do you have a peephole in there? But it just, when you're at home, then you can envision the art there, and then having that tool, it just makes it, really special. So I think where we've come on all this, the geekiness of the world is a good thing for art. I just didn't think it was going to get like that, but it's a good thing.
I didn't either. Surprise, surprise. I just.
Yeah, I know. But hey, but you're doing both, and that's great. You're getting out, connecting with people, doing talks, and showing them your art, and then being able to have the geek side of it. So good for you, man. It's awesome, and exciting to watch everybody, get to connect with you in different ways and different trees. There it is. So now you've got to do a different.
That's it. I love the trees. So if you want to fly me out to do your cypress, I'll do it.
There it is. Yeah. You should come here in Yuma, Arizona, where we are today, because they've got reforested all the Colorado River with these beautiful cottonwood trees. And when we got here, we went on this one trail, and we thought, like, what? We're in Yuma. We're in the sunniest place on earth, right? But it's all shaded and beautiful. And it felt like we were walking in snow because all of the cotton, the cotton from the cottonwoods were on the ground. So it's like completely white. And we're like, we're in the desert, So it's really beautiful. Really, really beautiful. And you get fall colors in the desert, which is wild. So it's a different thing. So we'll have to get you here. One last thing before you go. I heard that you went and had a good time in San Francisco.
Oh, yes. Oh, Monet, his latest years. And I didn't know whether I would like it or not because he got cataracts. He was really blind at the end of his life. And so I thought, well, I don't know how these paintings will be. But luckily they didn't limit it to the last 5 years or so. They did like the last 10 or 15 years of his artwork. And it was from extraordinary to not so extraordinary at the end there. He lost his sense of color. But, oh my gosh, that man has had such a big influence on my life, and I didn't really remember. But when I worked at the city of Bakersfield, in my little cubicle, I had Monet water lily pictures on all of my cubicle walls, and I think it profoundly affected me, that whole abstraction of nature thing of looking at a subject matter without a horizon and looking deep down into it, like the patterns and things. That's like you're Monet, in it. I realized. Yeah, just being
you're in it. If you don't have a horizon, then you're in it. Well, because the horizon line says, okay, you're there and I'm over here on the line.
Exactly.
And then you have to, But if you don't have something like a reference point like that, then you're truly in it.
And he eliminated, at the end there, he eliminated all of the, what should I say, things that stood up, like trees and things. Everything was about the reflections in the water, the sky, the depth, and the reflections. So it was like everything was painted on this flat plane, but it had depth and all of the, inference of all the things that were around it. It was really extraordinary. And boy, was he prolific. Oh, my goodness, that man painted so much. I mean, it made me feel ashamed. I mean, really, because I thought, Joy, you better get busy, like he was one heck of a painter.
And the colors, he really had nature in his pocket, I think. And when you look at his work, right, and talking about getting rid of the horizon lines, and so that's where it starts to become human. The horizon lines are the humanity, But what do you think about Georgia O'Keeffe? We're going to Santa Fe soon, and hoping to go to her gallery museum there. But what do you think of her work in regards to getting
I love her stuff.
She got in the plant, she climbed in the flower.
Right.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
No, I like all of that older stuff. That exactly what you're talking about. Using the look, inspecting the form of the inner workings of the flowers and things like that. Getting rid of all of the extraneous stuff, all the stuff around it. Now, the earlier era, not so good. But boy, no, I think she was extraordinary too. I loved her stuff.
I really hope we get to go to her gallery when we're in Santa Fe, because there is something about that, and that's when you start to really understand how mechanical nature was in some ways, because it was like there's perfect wheels and spokes and flowers in some of them,
Well, it's all form. I don't care what level you're at. I mean, it's all about form. You know, that's what the man I studied under, Taro Yashima, he used to say in class, he said, "Where's your form?" And he would scream out, "Where's your form?" And he'd say, "Would you love your mother if she were flat?" That always cracked me up.
That's funny.
That's
well, happy Mother's Day.
I know. Yeah, where's your form? I'm like, well, I've got an apple around me. I'm in an apple.
That's funny.
An apple. I went from a pear to an apple. how you grow.
Yeah, but you're not a cardboard cutout either.
No, I don't want to be Dave the Cardboard Box. No, I don't want to be that. I love that. That's really true, and I think that's what's so part of your work, especially with the sequoias, is there's that texture, yet there is form in there, and it's like how to understand the texture of that bark and how does it stretch all the way up there. It's really fascinating. The sequoia trees are crazy.
They're amazing.
They're crazy.
They're dinosaur trees.
Yeah, Nancy calls them dinosaur trees.
Well, they are really, because they're big enough for a dinosaur to roam through and still be taller.
Right. Well, that's probably true. I mean, yeah, they probably were around when the dinosaurs. I don't know. Let's see, a couple thousand years, right?
Yeah.
Are the dinosaurs
I
earlier than that?
Yeah.
But
so I just think it'd be, it would be really cool if a dinosaur you were out there in Sequoia Park and a dinosaur comes out through the trees. That'd be awesome.
I'm all for it.
Well, I'll have to do a fantasy painting of a dinosaur in a giant sequoia grove.
Yeah, cool.
That would be so cool. Well, you know what would be cool? You could have them coming out of the crystal cave.
Oh, there
they're
you go.
too big. I knew it's a fantasy.
With a forest ranger in his mouth.
and a caveman.
Yeah. Oh man. Well, where did we go? This is great.
I don't know.
Great.
I don't
know.
Well,
I have a special song to play for you. And Joy, always such a pleasure. And we look forward to seeing you in the spring of 2020 when we come back to the Sequoia region. You never know. We might do a fall trip up because
sometimes we just do stuff.
Well, we're going to Death Valley. Check this out. We're going to be in Death Valley for Halloween and the Day of the Dead.
Well, I will come out. I will come.
Oh, that'd be fun.
Let's have a party.
Okay, let's do it.
Okay, come on out. We're going to be interviewing a photographer who's part of the National Parks Arts Foundation. They do this photography artist in residency, and so we'll be interviewing them, and then you could be there, and we could have fun. We can go around Death Valley
and look for dinosaurs.
I love Death
and look
Valley.
for dinosaur tracks. Have you been through Tacna? Not Tacna. That's here. What's Trona?
Oh yeah, Trona Pinnacles. It smells horrible, but it's very interesting.
It's wild out there. And
yeah,
so we're going to be in Stovepipe Wells.
Oh, yeah. I've stayed there many times, many times.
And then we're going to go to Ash Meadows, I hope, because I want to go back to Ash Meadows, that National Wildlife Refuge out there.
Ashford Meadows.
Yeah,
Ashford Meadows.
It's beautiful, beautiful up there. So I want to go there. The most endemic species of the country are in there. The most concentrated amount of endemic species, 22 endemic species.
They have 26 species that are nowhere else on Earth. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I was going to go out and do some studies, but they're teeny little tiny things. Everything that's,
The pupfish.
Yeah, they're all really small, so it doesn't really kind of lend itself to doing a
She wants giants.
She wants giants. She wants dinosaurs.
Okay, so then that means you need to go and put the dinosaur, like you could do a dinosaur road trip. In like a few steps, he goes from the sequoias to the desert, because it's not that far away,
No, it's not.
Especially if you're a dinosaur, it's only a couple steps.
Exactly. It's not as the crow flies. It has the dinosaur steps. Yeah.
When we were in South Africa, I saw a real dinosaur print, and it was like molten rock and a dinosaur print. And ever since then, I'm just totally wow.
Mhm.
Well, you could be standing in one and not realize it, I think, because they're so big, right?
It's amazing. It's
just
amazing.
Yeah.
So to me, it's
if you come to
LA,
they were here. Go to the museum. Go to the LA County Museum. Oh my gosh, you can see them. They've reconstructed them, and in fact, the man I studied under, Taro Yashima, it was in East LA. Okay, and he met a man, an old Japanese man, who had spent his entire life collecting dinosaur bones, and he had them in this basement of this hotel, and he had a complete Brontosaurus and a Tyrannosaurus Rex. And Taro wanted to celebrate this man's life before he died, and he took the bones to Japan. They built a museum, and I actually helped paint a prehistoric landscape that goes behind it. And it's in Japan. It's in Kagoshima.
Wow. Well, who knew?
I know. And I was just a teenager when I did that.
See, now check that out. So now we're talking dinosaurs, and then we've been connected all this time, just like that.
Global
we
dinosaur.
have, and I didn't even think about it.
Isn't that fun?
Wow. How awesome is that, Joy? That's amazing. That's an amazing story. Yeah. That is really cool. Wow. Okay, so your song today is called...
Okay,
because now it actually... And I didn't know you were going to talk about Monet. But I think of Monet when I listen to this song. It's called Clouds Alive in Wild Paint. And it's by our friend May Edwards. And everybody's off of her album Grace, which is part of she did a 4-piece project. And it's about, she went into the world of dualism. Starlet and Saint was a dualism. And duality, how we can live dual lives, You could be a saint and a sinner at the same time if you want. But anyway.
Okay.
Or you could be a dinosaur. You could be a dinosaur with one foot in the sequoias and one foot in Death Valley if you want. But anyway, this is off of her album Grace, and you can keep up with her at mayedwards.com. But especially go to joycollier.com as well and keep up with Joy. Again, the exhibit in Fresno is at the Vernissage, and I just want to keep saying that my gallery Vernissage.
I know.
Good. Fresno's Art
French.
Rendezvous. Yes, and so you can go there, and she'll be there from June 6th. Her exhibit will be there from June 6th to 28th. And also, you'll be able to see her on the 6th as part of Art Hop, and then she does her talk on June 22nd. So everybody, you're going to want to keep up with that. So, again, joycollier.com. Thanks so much for joining us, Joy. It's always a joy.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. It's always fun.
Take care. See you in Death Valley.
Okay. Cool.